Welcome to the Loving Light Hour. My name is Len. In this hour we're going to continue with our series on the process, and we'll be talking about what are your thoughts and feelings? What are the higher sides, your objective view? We've done this work. We've done the work to talk about our lower thoughts and feelings, our identified, and where they come from, and we've done some releasing of emotions about them, and having done all that, then we come back to this. We come back to around the circle again to, well, then what are your then? If these are just reactions and negative emotions and other people's thoughts and stuff, then what is your objective view? What is the higher side of you think and feel about the situation, person, or whatever we're dealing with? So join us, and as always, I hope you enjoy the show. First, let me thank Evie's Natural Food in Mango Court in Kainalea. Thanks, Evie, for your support over the years, and Tropical Cuts down in Waterfront Rome in Kailua. Thanks, Sharon, and of course my daughter, who's doing the hard work and bringing us into the digital age. Thanks, Crystal, and my wife, whose thoughts and feelings and hard work has brought me to a place where I could actually talk about this stuff with some sort of understanding, true understanding. Thanks, Lynn. And thank you, of course, for watching and listening and trying to think and sharing with me when you see me out there, or writing and calling. Really appreciate it. Appreciate the feedback. And again, drop me a line with your name and address, telephone number, whatever, if you like the show. I'll put it in my little store bank. I'll do an email. I can store them there and use them later on to help me to get the show onto commercial, onto regular TV. So anyway, the process. Again, the process, to recap it, if you haven't already heard it, the process is an alchemical procedure. It's a systematic, step-by-step way of taking our state of consciousness, our negative state of consciousness, albeit resentment, anger, fear, worry, dread, whatever it is, and delving into what are the thoughts and the emotions tied into that state of consciousness. In other words, what's driving this, what's holding you into this state of consciousness, and what supporting systems, projections, imaging, imagining, guessing, mind reading are you doing? What from the past are you projecting onto the present? When we say the word projections, we say that that's just a figure of speech, and unfortunately it's not a figure of speech. I mean, we're literally projecting what isn't there, an image, an inner image, onto the people and onto the situation. We're taking the past and we're bringing it into the present. So we're dealing with the projections, and then what's behind it all? What's the driving force of it all? What's underneath it? What is the payoff for living this type of life? What's the hidden agenda going on? Actually, we may not have talked about the hidden agenda. It's a little bit more advanced, but the hidden agenda is always that. What's that saboteur, or what the negative part of us that's not really out for our best interests? What is the payoff? What do we get out of letting this state be? Really important part of it that it's kind of a little bit more advanced, but we'll mention it here just in passing. We don't need to deal with that right now, because that's kind of the stuff we get to once you're dealing with this and dealing with your true thoughts and feelings, which is what we're going to be dealing with tonight. When you start dealing with that, you start uncovering these little counterplans going on underneath, these subliminal programs that seem to run, that's set in place back in your early childhood or early teen years. Decisions and beliefs and things that set onto your hard drive and are running underneath, and you don't even know, what's going on. You don't know why you do it or why you do this or why you do that, just because, it's all impulse, it feels like. So that's an important part. But then we looked at the the mask, the mirroring and addictions and spells and criticalness, and of course mirroring being other people's thoughts and feelings. In general, if you're in a room and everybody's depressed, one tends to be depressed unless you're a shaker, mover and a shaker, and then you try to bring everybody else's energy up. See, there's always that choice. You can be influenced by the world and by the world around you, or you can in turn influence it. It really depends on how strong you are and what your decision is. And then addictions are those grooves that have been etched in our minds, and that are driven. They drive us to do things and to take on suffering and to create suffering. It kind of takes us out of our right mind. And spells would be more of conscious thoughts, conscious things like advertising is spells. I mean, spells. They're getting you to buy things you don't need, getting you to buy their product. You remember TV originally, back in the 50s when it first started, the idea was to raise our consciousness, the good people, the people that saw this as a marvelous, wonderful thing, which is what we're still trying to use it for. Playhouse 90 and Sid Caesar and all of those wonderful shows back then where we laughed and we were educated and saw great plays and stuff like that. Of course, then the advertisers came in there and they got a hold of, see, that's a great idea, raising people's consciousness, raising their awareness of our products. Not really raising their awareness, although who cares? Let them have their awareness raised, and unless of course they don't want that, and unless of course they want sex and violence, in which of course everybody does, obviously. Not me, but everybody else, I guess. But anyway, they then started commercialism, and commercials started coming in to raise our consciousness. But it really turns into not raising our consciousness. It's spellbinding us into living these lives that are ridiculous, lives that are driven, that have no end in sight, that have no goals, that have nothing that's of any value, of any reality. This is, so those are spells, and smaller spells are just manipulating people to do what you want to do. They're so subtle and insidious that you wouldn't believe it. I mean, we have stuff in the work that we do, my wife and I, and people who work with us, where, especially in relationships, when I do relationship counseling, we do the thing of, we have this one sentence that my wife carved out for me, chiseled out of syllable by syllable, to get me to stop manipulating her to do what I wanted to do, or to take responsibility for what we do. And she figured it out is that I simply had to say, I would like to go see Star Wars, or go see this movie. Is that okay with you? Which kind of lays bare the fact that if you watch your own relationship, or if you watch how kids do, and when they want something from you, manipulating you, and they're saying, are we going to the circus today? And they say, what is it that you want to do? She said, I don't care. I like to do what everybody else wants to do. But it kind of lies and manipulations. And so instead, the perfect statement then is, this is what I would like to do, which is kind of a statement of power, empowering you. But is that okay with you? So it's kind of straightforward. I want to do this, but we're open to talking about it. It's coming to the heart, power and heart, combining them together. But so spells and manipulations is how we're being manipulated and controlled by people. Some of it is really, if we're in the consciousness of people around us that are angry with us and are revengeful and jealous, well, that's what that is. Being jealous of somebody and hating somebody and being revengeful of somebody is, you're putting out spells, you're putting out thoughts and feelings towards them that affects their consciousness, affects the way they think and act. Consequently, if people are doing that to you, not that you should be paranoid that everybody's thinking about you. I'm just talking about things that you can, people that you're involved with, your children, your parents, your family, and stuff like that, or your workers and stuff like that. You always want to kind of get straight with the fact when you're having these feelings, when you're in depression, or when you always want to kind of check it out and saying, is there anything I should be dealing with, or is there anybody I should be sending good thoughts to?